2026 to order. To welcome our councilors here and staff that we have on hand. Notation of councilors in attendance.
Yes.
Thank you. Could I have a motion for approval of the agenda, please? Moved by Deputy Mayor Brownlow. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councilor Annis. Any question on the agenda as presented? All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded, if any? Motion carried. Do we have any declaration of conflicts of interest for tonight's agenda? None, we're good. No delegates. Approval of the previous meeting minutes. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Annis, seconded by Deputy Mayor Brownlow. So errors and omissions, there's one omission, and I think Deputy Mayor Brownlow is willing to make an motion for an amendment.
Yes.
And I'll read it here and highlight it. So, under new business, instead of ending at G, it will now end at H. So we add F was a motion that got omitted, but just got omitted because of all the emotions that night. And it reads, moved by Deputy Mayor Dustin Brownlow and second by Councilor Wayne Annis, that we hold a town hall meeting by the end of February 2026 in Ward 1 to communicate the reasoning of the changes in the fire services in the affected area and share the fire review study. And that motion was carried. All we have to do was make an amendment to put it into the minutes. So,
Yep, I'll move that.
okay. The amendment to the minutes then for the omission is moved by Deputy Mayor Brownlow. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councilor Annis. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Contrary-minded, if any? Motion carried. Thank you. So are there any other errors, omissions, or questions on the minutes other than that one? No, we're good. So all those in favor of the motion with the amendment?
Aye.
Contrary-minded, if any? Motion carried. Business arising from the previous meeting minutes. Do we have any?
So I just have a couple questions.
Sure.
I'm just wondering if there's any updates on the, looking at everything here, just seeing which motions there were. Have we heard any updates on the pending changes in the fire service delivery for Ward 1? No. Okay. And are there any, do we foresee any hiccups on the end of February for information meeting? No?
I can't predict anything.
Okay.
I've reached out to the location. I've not heard anything back yet.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
But it's in the works.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, any other business from the minutes? Hearing none. Correspondence, we have one, and that's the New Brunswick SPCA Dog Patrol Summary for October 1st, 2025 to January 25th, 2026, and that's in your package. I don't know if there's anything that anyone of you would like to discuss on that, or just read it and take it in. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
I'm just wondering, if it's great that we're finally getting a report. I'm just wondering if it would be possible to get back reports from 2023 to 2024 and then all of 2025. And if this is something that maybe along even with what we receive from the RCMP and from the fire departments, if we could actually post these reports to the website for transparency so that residents can see.
That's a very good question, because we don't post council packages. And I haven't been posting any type of report from the RCMP. It's worth a discussion. I wouldn't start posting anything on this current website, but the new website is still in the works. I would definitely consider doing something like that for that website, if they're, but I don't have an end date for that website. I was hoping that was going to be done reports for the RCMP or what have you, you can do that. Okay.
Do you think the SPCA would be open to giving us the back reports?
Maybe, I didn't even ask for this, it just showed up.
Oh,
Out
okay.
of the blue. Yeah, and I mean, I never reached out to ask for it, I mean, it was there, what's this? You know, so I can always ask.
Okay, thank you.
You're good with those answers? Okay. Committee reports, do we have any committee reports today?
We do. I will, I'm prepared to give a verbal report for the Public Safety Committee that met on the evening of January 15th. And Duncan kindly gave me a Zoom capture of the major parts of the meeting. In attendance were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, 6 of us? 6 or 7 of us, anyway, around there. So we discussed emergency planning, public safety matters. We did a round of introductions so that all the members would know each other. And then we talked about the status of the emergency plan document. And it's our understanding that that's going to be finished at some point so that then will come to the safety committee for consideration. We also did briefly look at the fire study that was done, and that's going to be the topic of our next meeting, which is scheduled for February the 19th, I think it is. And we also discussed the upcoming the buoyant alert that we currently have contract with, and actually the training of members from the Valley and Keswick Bridge are happening within the next week or so. And then we talked about the role of the experts who can come and sit in an advisory capacity on our committee. So it's a very fledgling committee. We have agreed to meet once a month, and our next focus is going to be the fire services review that was done. We also talked about the possibility of doing some tabletop exercises in terms of our emergency preparedness, involving the dam and perhaps other things, and as well as the necessity for better cell coverage for emergency services throughout the valley. So those are the big topics that we talked about. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to try to answer them.
Okay. Any questions for our chair of public safety?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there anything to add on the emergency management plan or no? Tonight, any comments or
We have a meeting,
29?
yeah, sorry, Thursday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call on our treasurer, Karina, if she can come up and present the unaudited financial statements for first will be November and then will be December.
So these financial statements cover November, December 2025, as well as the year-to-date for the entire year. We'll first take a look at revenue. 4 and 5 is the unconditional unconditional grant in the warrants for November, December, and you'll see the total on the right. Under number 9, that is fire department income for November and December. These are all deposits from province income. For November, that just includes our rental income from unit 2 and 3 of the office building. And then in December, it also includes that rental income, but also the Nacogdoches Millville and Nashwack Road Community Fire Services. Next line, number 16, interest income. That's our interest that's accumulated in our CCDF, capital reserve, and operating reserve accounts. And then you apply the totals for November, December, and the year on the bottom. We're going to expense the general government services. From 4 to 11, yes, 11, is wages, as well as number 17. And this, I will mention 17 for the total also includes the wages for the two boat launch employees. And number 13, benefits, employer, other expenses, that includes their health benefits, and it also includes the pension amounts. 18, office building, that includes costs related to the office building such as power and repairs. Account number 19, sorry, not 19, 21, other administrative services, EI and CPP currently are lumped into that, so that's why the higher percentage. And we'll skip to the next page, debt service. Number 9 through 19 are all the different accounts. You'll see a few extra accounts that remains, but you will see the totals in those accounts, but also the percentages of the budget you'll find under line 3 and 4 for Keswick Ridge and Keswick Valley. Let's mention a few items under, on the last page, recreational and cultural services. 22, recreation personnel. The wages for the director of recreation and parks is under that account. Number 24, rec culture admin other, are grants to different organizations in 2025, as well as costs such as power and snow removal. And then number 25 is recreation facilities. Those are the costs related to the Keswick Valley Arena. And you can see the total expenses at the bottom there, and as well as the net income.
Thank you. So do I have a motion? I think we've done November and December together here, so do I have a motion to accept the 2 months unaudited financial statements? Moved by Deputy Mayor Brownlow, I have a seconder. Seconded by Councilor Forbes. Any questions on what was presented to us in the treasurer's report? I have one maybe, and it's under expense on line 21, other administrative services. I might have missed what you said was lumped in there, or 50% over budget. Was there?
EI and CPP, that's roughly 16,000
Okay.
per year.
So services that probably were budgeted somewhere else, right?
Like it doesn't have its own budget line, so kind of figuring out where to best fit it, but it's under there for now.
Okay, all right. And Keswick Valley Arena, we're quite well over budgeted also. Is there, about 70,000 over budget. Is there an explanation for that?
Okay,
Okay,
they were, the budget was under budget
okay,
dramatically, so they had some extra expenses at the year end. As you know, we were supposed to be having ownership of the arena well before now, and long story short, the budget was not enough to cover their final expenses at the end of the year. They had some large power bills, so
okay,
that's why when you look at the incoming budget, it's been increased dramatically.
okay. I hate asking money questions, but when it's over, I just like to know what it's for, I guess. So if anyone asks me, I can say. Any other questions or concerns on audited financial statements? All those in favor of the motion? Contrary minded, the same? Motion carried. Thank you, Julie. So we'll move on to our Chief Administrative Officer's report.
Thank you. Keswick Valley Arena transfer, the tentative closing date for this transaction is this coming Friday, January 30th, 2026, and all things seem to be heading in that direction that it will be closed. The 2025 audit, for a representative from Shannon and Buffett, will be in our office Thursday, February 5th, 2026, to facilitate our 2025 audit. Keswick Facilities Improvement Team, a meeting has been scheduled with their committee for Monday, February 2nd at 7 p.m. at the Calian Complex. They have been advised that it might not be all of council attending. 995 Route 104 demolition. The tender package was sent out yesterday to 7 local contractors who may be interested in entering a bid for the demolition of 995 Route 104. The work is to be completed by June 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to accept our CAO report? Moved by Councilor Forbes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Brownell. Any questions on the CAO report?
Duncan, anything on the two unsightly premises on 105?
Nothing yet. I apologize. Those aren't the only ones that they're not updating us for. There have been other inquiries made. It's just they're swamped. And I know that they've sent out letters to one of those addresses for sure.
Right, that was
Yeah.
the worst one. The other one is sort of covered up by snow and
So
everything.
I haven't heard anything about that one.
Okay, once they're in process.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? All those in favor of the report? Contrary minded, any motion carried. So we'll move on to the new mayor's report. January 14th, 26th, the Capital Region Service Commission made a contribution to the Oromocto Food Bank for freezer storage and transportation relief. Oromocto services all food bank depots in the Capital Region Service Commission. And on the 14th, the chair of the Service Commission, Judy Wilson-Sheep, presented the keys to the truck to the executive director of the food bank, Jane Buckley. Along with the presentation were Minister Miles and the chair of the food bank, Ruth Lindsay, and myself, chair of the community development for the Capital Region Service Commission. There was a photo and a press release by the Telegraph Journal last weekend for this. On the 14th, we also had our last rural planning committee meeting before we go into the open houses in February. And also, I will be attending the State of the Province address Thursday evening on behalf of Vice Chair and of the Service Commission, along with the Chair of the Service Commission. That's my report. I move to accept my report. By the seconder. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Forbes. Councilor Forbes. That was a year ago. Any questions on my report? All those in favor? Contrary minded, any motion carried. New business. So last meeting, we're supposed to do this the first meeting of the year. We forgot to go over our deputy mayor for the term ending May the 12th. Usually it's for the year, but for this council it ends May 12th. So we'll open the floor to nominations for deputy mayor. accept the
I
nomination?
accept the
Are
nomination.
you nominating yourself?
Sure.
I guess you accepted it, you nominated
Just thought
yourself.
it was logical.
Are there any further nominations? Any further nominations? Move nomination cease. So we need an election.
I will defer to Dustin. Unless someone else thinks it's a good, logical for me to actually do it.
So you're pulling your name out?
Well, I'm just letting it stand in deference to him. So, it's okay, I know it's very complicated, but that's all right, I will take my name off.
Okay.
Unless Dustin wants to put mine
Councillor
on.
Edwards has removed her name, so. Deputy Mayor Brownell, the mayor for another, don't make it.
Deputy.
Deputy.
You can always remove it.
Do we need a motion for that? We don't, do we? Okay. So someone would like to make a motion, Dustin be deputy mayor?
I'll move that Dustin Brownell continue his term of deputy mayor until May 12th, 2026.
Second.
Second by Councillor Ennis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, if any? Motion carried. Congratulations.
Saves on buying a new name tag.
We save money. Next new business is Canadian British Consultants Limited, as the acting CBCL Scotch Lake Remote Water Supply Proposal. It's in your package, but we'll let our CAO elaborate on this.
So we are in the final stages, which I hope were going to be completed last fall, as far as wrapping up the remote water supply project on Scotch Lake Road. Speaking with various contractors, there were various opinions about how it should be piped. How the tank, the well should be piped to the tank, and how the tank should be piped to I guess the draw, or the valve, where the trucks will be lining up. So with that said, I approached, initially who I thought was a company called R.D. Bartlett, fire suppression specialist, but they were, I don't know if they were bought out by CBCL. And CBCL has a civic engineering side that melds well with the fire suppression side, and their technical experts are willing to draw the plans, the recommended plans, to install a float shut-off system in the tank, which will require some type of a structure above ground, which was never really planned for in the beginning. So it got a little bit more complicated. So when we look at this proposal, it includes the cost of drawing those plans, and then also a rate per hour for project management oversight to show up and integrate, interact with the contractor performing the work. For the project management oversight, I believe it's around 8,000. The design, I think, is at 9,800, somewhere around there. So that would be the cost of helping to wrap up this project without the cost of the extra contractor work or supplies needed to finish it.
So this doesn't include supplies.
It doesn't include any piping or anything like that. That would be supplied by the contractor. You wouldn't know what that costs until that's purchased. And with all due respect, I've done my best going out there and meeting on site, and I listen and I ask questions. But then when it starts, the various opinions coming in, and what's right and what's wrong, and how complicated it is to install a float shut off in the tank, and all that stuff, you need technical oversight. So, my brother's a plumber, but I don't know.
Is this the kind of work that Stantec will do as well?
I don't know.
Potentially.
I'm just wondering where it's a single source here.
I've got a whole other thought on this. If this becomes our design and the way that we do something, we're looking at not like it's a constant use thing that's gonna, like, this was a nice idea when it's a float valve, like in a toilet, that basically shuts your valve off, and then when it drops below it, it turns back on. If they want a 4-stage valve in this with alarms, well, this is ballooning. This is turning into an enormous project. You read your communication with a control panel, and maybe a text message that gets sent. Well, understanding how some of that other radio system works, like this is going to be extremely expensive for a remote water source that gets used infrequently. The tank in the ground full of water and a way to fill it is the most important piece of this entire project. The automatic filling was a nice to have. Personally, I think that having the water on site and a tank that we can put it in, and a big valve that the fire department can turn off and on when they need to, is probably more than sufficient. But I just see this, if this becomes the way to do it, we'll never get any more than done. You know, extremely expensive. And then there's maintenance
So-
of the system.
It would suggest that maybe buy one of these contractors, maybe you should have just the auto, not the auto shut off, the switch, just turn it off. But the worry is that, so, I can't remember exactly, like, once the pump is installed in the well, you might be getting like 50 gallons a minute refilling the tank.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take a while.
Oh, yeah.
So are you saying that it would be okay that like somebody would volunteer to come back and turn it off manually?
Yeah.
Because it's not up to me what goes in there, it's like you guys that are using it, and Macquac, the park, so. If that's what you guys
I
can
mean,
work
I
with.
feel that this could be revisited down the road, maybe given a lot more time, but having the water source available could happen as soon as you can pipe into it. In fact, it could probably happen as soon as the fire department could fill it manually, like we have with other ones in the past, like. But,
It's partially full now.
yeah, so I mean, I think those tanks take about 6 or 7 truckloads.
8,000 gallons.
Yeah, so 6 truckloads roughly. So it's not huge for the fire department to fill them, to have that remote source. Auto filling them is great, and having the well on site, I don't know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. We've done it with the fire department, because our tank is not auto fill. We turn a valve, let it go for a while, check the level, shut it off. If someone forgot to shut it off, they all have an overflow on them. It's water, it's not toxic sludge, it just runs into the woods.
Your tank's already connected to the well?
Yeah. Isn't it? No, we don't have a well,
No.
no. But we would put a big hose off of our well, like a fire hose,
Oh,
and just leave it for half the day.
Sorry, that wasn't my question. Like I said, this was being built for fire services, so, the functionality of it, how it's being used, like, I can't, determine that for you.
This is great, it becomes a hands-off approach. I just don't think it's a long-term solution, because it's gonna require maintenance. Like, it's an electrical system, the alarms are gonna go off all the time, you're gonna frustrate the fire chiefs because they're chasing alarm panels that are telling them the water's doing something.
So you're saying,
I would include them in this conversation before you pull the pin on Monday.
be involved in fire, you don't think it's a real big deal to fill it manually? Have somebody there,
That's all we typically
turn it
do.
on and then go back and check it in towards your house?
It'd be a pretty big fire name to it.
Hey, we're talking like you take a truck load or 2 out of it, you turn the valve on, and you say, all right, set an alarm, come back in an hour and a half and shut it off for 2 hours, or.
Well, and even as the fire is underway,
Just turn it
still,
on.
just leave it on and.
And again, it's water, so if you left the valve on and it run, the worst case scenario, you're gonna burn $1,000 valve out. You have to do a lot to pay for a $50,000 automated system. Have to burn a lot of well pumps out.
So the other thing that was kind of, different opinions was, do you have to put heat trace on the lines? And one person said you do, and another person said, well, if they're deep enough in the ground, that you don't. So that's the other decision that you have to come up with, so the lines don't freeze.
I don't have heat trace on my line from my well to my basement.
I'm just going by with what I've been told.
I don't
really know.
I think heat trace on the line if it's below frost level. I'm assuming they're thinking frost penetration through an empty tank, but if there was a full tank, then you're not gonna get frost penetration down below 4 feet anyway, so the SOP for the fire department is to ensure that the tank is full, and if that means dumping a couple of trucks in it, or if it means running that valve, run the well wide open, let them we're only seeing their project management costs here. The thing, our design will not include, that's gonna be very expensive right there. Procurement of well pump, service from MB Power, services for new buildings, lights, power, HVAC, a telephone line for our alarms, building power, panel breakers, heat trace status. Better build a building, better build a shed. This could take off.
It was supposed to be just a little box.
Yeah.
Holding the whatever instruments are used just for the float shut off,
Yeah.
cause you can't bury those parts.
Yeah.
So I
But
don't
they
know.
wanna build it with heat in it, so they
Yeah.
can have a telephone line and a line panel breaker.
I agree, but it's, I told them a float shut off and then it turned into that. But they provided what I asked them for,
Sure.
but I didn't ask for a building like that. But that is what it is. I'm just saying that, you guys are the experts in the fire service and,
I'd like to
it's
look
not
at these thoughts.
us that will be using it.
You're right, and I would sooner see less money go into this, less moving parts, so that there's less breakdown,
You get the other two buried.
and, right,
Get the other two buried, get a well in, you get even a hydrant valve, like, so it's a below frost valve, that's what a hydrant valve is, it's a below frost valve that can be activated by an above ground valve, so you can turn it on, but there's no heat and power required other than power for the well pump itself. You wouldn't need the heat trace in it. You've seen those, right, Wayne? You know what I mean by hydrant valve?
Yeah.
I think there's a cheaper way to approach this.
Duncan, would that have to go through an approval process in any department?
You mean like, with the province?
Yeah.
No, I think the only approval that we needed was the highway access.
And it's not on park land, is it?
It is.
It is on park land?
Yeah, they didn't survey it out for us, but they gave us the go-ahead to use it.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I was just thinking of Friends of Baptist.
Well, I mean, it will help the park too if anything happens there, so that was why they were in agreement.
Thank you.
So do you need a motion or anything to just
No.
do it manually?
No, don't need any motion on this.
We just chat about it, we're good, and the old,
Yeah, and obviously there needs to be more of a chat, so.
And you can't do anything this time of year anyway, because the ground's frozen up and covered in snow, so the next council may wanna do this.
and what would be interesting is to see what the state of the water is that's in there now. Is there any ice in there, is it half full?
we're hoping not.
It's been covered over with an insulated tarp and hopefully some sand.
Think of our tank in the ground right now, and it's not frozen,
No.
and it's less than 4 feet to the ground,
Open air.
with open air in the.
So are we good on this?
Mhm.
Okay. So I had a chat, I had one more new business thing, I had a chat with the fire chief at Physic Valley, and this goes along, much about where this tank is. The tank that's at the fire hall, you fill it manually, correct?
Yes, we,
And Ken was wondering if we drill another well on the fire hall property, close to the snowmobile, the snow groomer sheds, cause they have no water, and let them draw water out of our well. Because he's under the impression that the well you have now might not sustain filling that tank all the time, cause the trucks fill it some, right?
Trucks full of moose.
Most of the time. So what he would like to do is to fill it manually and share the well, if we would drill one that's on the fire department property, and let the snowmobile groomer get water out of it, because they have none. And the only reason I brought it to council, cause we do try to promote ATV trails and snowmobile trails and whatnot, and I'm wondering if that's some aspect to work with the snowmobile club. Apparently they have asked him this, so,
I'm not a fan of the idea.
I don't know what they use the water for.
well, they have nothing for washrooms or
Oh, I see.
anything there, I guess, at the
They
moment.
don't even have any washrooms though.
Well, that's why they have no water, so.
I don't know what their plan was with the building, starting
okay. I was gonna mention it in the committee meeting, but we ran out of time. I don't know if this has to be a motion, that's why I wanna ask, cause it's a relatively very low cost. The information session that we're gonna have at the end of February. I would like to be as transparent and open as possible about the meeting. And yes, we have social media, yes, the deputy mayor has a big mouth. I would like to send a mail out once details are finalized, saying where it is, when it is, what it is about, so that the affected residents know. It would be fairly low cost, I don't know the cost, but it would be fairly low because it's not a lot of households and businesses that are affected. Just want council's thoughts, don't know if it needs to be a motion, just throwing it out there. If we're gonna do it, I'd like to have as many people know about it as possible. And I can drive up and down the roads and yell it, but rather it just go to the households.
So we're already sending something out in the mail, are we not? No? Just an
It
open
didn't,
house?
no, just for the municipal plan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They sent
we're not sending
said-
something out for the fire.
didn't you say your newsletter was on the
I
back?
was gonna, no, I didn't make it, so they just sent it out on its own. I was just gonna say, that are you okay if it gets sent out to the whole community as part of the newsletter? Instead of just the portion of the residents,
If you want.
cause that would work out
But they are sending theirs out, aren't they?
for the municipal plan. They
Yeah.
already sent it out.
Yeah, I only check my mail once a
Yeah,
week.
I think you probably already have.
So on the newsletter,
I'll have an advertisement for that meeting. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
so on the newsletter, it's going to be about the meeting about the fire change.
Oh, that will be mentioned for sure.
Okay.
Obviously, and this will be, for this council's term, this will be the last newsletter. So, I think you should send it out in the mail and set it as posting, but if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Since you brought up newsletter, so what all is gonna be in the newsletter?
I have no idea, but I'll find something. Figured,
Is that going out with the rural?
no, that was already sent out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the back half of that. The rural plan, we have the back page of that?
No,
We have nothing
we
on it?
didn't put anything because I was initially going to put on a newsletter, but it wasn't gonna work. So that already went out in the mail, you probably already got that notice. But I'm saying the newsletter, we can have both sides of the page, and I can put your advertisement on it. Is that okay? But it won't be just going to the residents in your ward.
If
It's going out
council's
to-
fine with that.
It's going out to everybody.
Okay.
If anybody has any ideas for a newsletter, or what like to put on there, please feel free to tell me.
They didn't have the location of where this,
Whenever
this
that's,
house, they
whenever
are
that's
fire is
declared.
gonna be,
Yes.
all that, so, okay.
And to your point that you were mentioning before, Mayor, I think where you're going, the notice that will be sent to the residents about the fire changes once it's going to happen, the affected residents. Like, once the process is done and the transfer is being done.
And I'll be honest, I'd be shocked if that happened before the election.
No, that's not what I mean, but that mail out is still gonna go out to notify the residents of the change when it's actually changing.
I could only, hopefully, that's the new council you're talking about, right? Do you know what I mean?
So we'll back it up to the last meeting.
Yeah.
We discussed this, so
Yes.
when the change of service goes into effect, there's supposed to be a notice sent to the residents.
I'm hoping one goes out. I can't predict the future, I apologize.
So do you need a motion now that one goes out?
No, that's a new council, I can't predict what's happening with the new council, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Isn't it mandatory to send a change out for fire service? We did it here.
It should happen, but I can't guarantee who's gonna be sending it out, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. I mean, it's a new council, you never really know, one should go out, you can make any motion you want right now, but I can't guarantee that those motions will be fulfilled by me or the next person, I'm just saying it should, but anyhow.
Maybe something to help in the meantime, once you do get a response back, if you have, and I assume you haven't, because it wasn't in your update from the office of fire marshal for the province, there might be some mandatory steps that we have to take as part of that, and a mail out for residents
So it's ND 911 that looks after the change request, right? They have to redraw the boundaries. Technically, I know that they don't have one right now, but the chief of Millville, if they had one, is supposed to sign off on this change. So I don't know what's gonna happen if they don't, but it's part of the paperwork. Fredericton, you know, reluctantly did, but they just knew that there was really no stop in it.
I think it's a symbolic signature anyway, because
I don't really know why they require it, but long story short, so yes, a letter should be going out, but that could be part of the newsletter, who knows? I'm just saying, there will be a notification for those residents, I just can't tell you how that's gonna work out in the future at the moment, so.
Would it be too early with your newsletter to put out end the election information about the new council?
No, yeah, I can put that on.
there's some good information floating around from the province for that right now, actually, I think.
But yeah, I can put that on. If anybody else has any ideas, just send me an email. Because at the moment, I can't even see anything that's going in there, but you can send them out.
Do we know when the large pickup days are for furrow?
No, but we could put that in there.
Motion of our two launch sites.
One of those is over, you have to renew the lease. I think it's Douglas, that might be still good for another year.
I think they're both over, aren't they?
No.
Are they both 2 years?
Yeah, I thought so too, but one ends in October 2026. But I think it's the Douglas, I think, so. So you could, I've already made the request of renewing leases and haven't heard anything back, so.
So in the newsletter too, I'll have a chat with the service commission Tuesday night and see if we can get this hazardous material
Yes,